In this video, I'm going to be breaking down a winning Facebook ad from an e-commerce brand that's doing over $100 million per year in revenue. And that brand is PetLabCo. They sell supplements for dogs. So the way that this video is going to be structured is that I'm going to show you the ad first. We're going to watch it together as a video. And then I'm going to break down the framework of the ad and the step-by-step process and structure of the ad itself, so that not only can you take this same framework and apply it to your own brand, but you can also learn the structures behind building your own frameworks, okay? So before we get into watching the video, my background is that I run a marketing agency, been doing that for the past 5 years. Before that, I freelanced for 4 years running Facebook ads and Google ads for different types of businesses. And I create these videos to help brand owners find new concepts, new strategies, new ideas that they can apply today to their business so that they can scale further and be more profitable. Right? And within my marketing agency, we help brands scale by providing them a consistent flow of winning Facebook ads. So we have an in-house team. We do everything from sourcing new content creators to scripting the ads, research, getting the content back, editing it, and delivering it to you and your team, ready to launch on Meta. And if that is something you're interested in and you want to scale further and faster by getting a consistent flow of winning ads every single week, then this is exactly what we do. You can scroll down to the video description below this video, and the first link is one that's going to take you to my website, and you can book a call directly with me on that page. Okay. And last thing before we dive in, just a quick refresh here on the Shopify dashboard for one of our clients. You can see last month, $839,000 in revenue. And yeah, sharing this so you can trust the information I'm about to share with you. So let's watch the video and then we're going to break it down.
How does a dog ask for help with poor gut health? Number 1, tear stains around their eyes. Number 2, frequent paw licking. And number 3, frequent scratching throughout the day. Now, these 3 frustrating signs are often signals your dog's gut is overrun with bacteria. You see, there's a reason why experts say a dog's gut is like their second brain. It controls almost every aspect of their health. Don't worry though, if you have seen these 3 signs, there is something you can do to help. You see, over the last year alone, over 500,000 dog parents just like you have turned to the new probiotic chew from PetLabCo. The chew shuttles billions of good bacteria directly into your dog's gut, helping to rebalance it and promote healthier skin, digestion, immune function, and more. Click the link below to learn more about the chew.
And there we have it. So 54 seconds long, just under a minute. And the first thing, before we actually get into the framework itself, I always like to understand which stage of market awareness is this ad targeting. Now, going off the hook, I would say that this ad would target a problem-aware audience. It could even target people in the unaware audience stage. And if you don't know the 5 stages of market awareness, basically you have everything from unaware, problem-aware, solution-aware, product-aware, and most aware. And your job as a marketer is to get people from whatever stage they're currently at to most aware so that they can make an informed purchasing decision to buy your product, okay? And the stage of awareness basically say, is someone aware that they have the problem? Is someone aware that they have the solution? Is someone aware that your product is the right solution for them? And are they convinced in terms of buying your product and aware of exactly what it does and what it can do for them? And as I mentioned, you take customers through that journey, through your ads, through your landing pages, through your website, and so on, okay? So the reason why I think this is targeting a problem-aware audience is because it states the problem, right? Poor gut health. And to be hooked in by this ad, you have to be at least aware or think that your dog may have poor gut health. Now, I also said it could target some people in the unaware stage, because by asking this question, you might get some people to say, hang on, does my dog have poor gut health? Could that be one of the reasons why he's or she is acting a little bit weird? You get to target a little bit of people in that area. And that unaware stage is the hardest to convert, right? Because they're the furthest away, and you have to basically convince them of a problem first before you even talk about a solution, okay? So I think this ad is probably mostly problem aware, but targeting a little bit of the unaware stage as well, okay? So let's just jump over into this Figma file so I can show you the framework itself, okay? So the framework is a very simple problem and solution ad, okay? So it starts by the hook, which is asking this question: how does a dog ask for help with poor gut health? And I like the way this ad kind of comes in. It comes in with like a short listicle, and a listicle of education. And this is different to most problem and solution ads you'll see, because most problem and solution ads, they go right into the problem, they agitate the problem, and then they talk about the solution. And there's nothing wrong with that. That actually works very well. But it's good to see a different take on this. So the hook asks the question, how does a dog ask for help with poor gut health? Then it talks about these 3 different things, right? Almost like a listicle, like a 3 reasons why. 1, tear stains, 2, paw licking, 3, scratching. It's very simple education. It's basically like, it satisfies the hook immediately. And with a hook that opens curiosity, like this one has, right, by asking this question, you want to try and satisfy that immediately, right? And it's just going to allow you to retain engagement with your viewers. And as a result, it's going to reduce drop-off. It's going to reduce people just continuing to scroll because you haven't really satisfied what you mentioned in the hook. So it doesn't just satisfy that desire and keep people watching, it also adds to the education side. And it basically sets the scene for ultimately introducing a solution, which, by the way, is going to be a product. But we don't get there just yet, okay? We want to talk more about the problem. So in this case, it says, now, these 3 frustrating signs often signals your dog's gut is overrun with bacteria, okay? So it's linking these 3 signs to what we mentioned in the hook, right, about poor gut health. These 3 signs are linked to poor gut health, okay? And specifically, overrun with bacteria. And we're going to see why this specific statement is important in just a moment. Now, another thing I want to touch on is these kind of animations, right? These 3D kind of X-ray style. These work really, really well. It's a form of intensification within direct response. When you're doing direct response advertising, you want to try and do this as much as possible. Usually you see it in pets, in humans as well, like if you're selling something for joint pain, knee pain, back pain, the more you can visualize that pain, the better. And a great way to visualize that pain and intensify it is by showing these 3D animations, or however you want to call them, okay? So after we spoke about the problem, we go deeper into education and basically say, you see, there's a reason why experts say a dog's gut is like their second brain. So we're leveraging experts say to basically say, this is not us saying it, it's experts, right? They're not specifically saying experts, but they're still borrowing that authority to increase trust with the viewer. And then they say it controls almost every aspect of your dog's health, which is quite a bold statement and maybe is going to instill a little bit of fear into your customers. Now, I don't like to advertise by fear, but it is a very, very powerful mechanism to get people to take action. Now, I wouldn't say PetLabCo are using fear to do that, right? I don't think that's the case at all. It is important that you make the problem of high importance in your customer's mind, right? Otherwise, they're not going to take action. Simple as that. If the problem is not severe enough, if it's not agitated enough, customers are just not going to take action because it's not a big enough problem to actually take action and spend money and time on, okay? So your job as a marketer is to actually create that tension because you're about to relieve it when you introduce your solution. So immediately after it says that statement, basically how your dog's gut health controls almost every aspect of their overall health, it says, don't worry. Right? There is a solution. And this is a classic direct response tactic where you build up tension, you say, look, don't worry about it. There's a solution. It's our product, right? Like that's ultimately the classic way of taking someone through that journey. And what we're doing here is we're introducing them to the solution, right? If you've seen these 3 signs, there is something you can do to help, okay? And the way this is framed is so clever. And selling to pet parents, like a lot of people get this wrong, but PetLabCo hits the nail on the head, like almost every time with their ads, because it's so emotionally driven, where if you've seen these signs, if you've seen your dog suffering, don't worry because there is something you can do to help. There is something you can do to help them because they can't help themselves. And this is why selling to pet owners is such a lucrative market, because you're not trying to get them to buy for themselves, you get them to buy for someone else, right? It's also like selling to mothers where, if you've seen your baby do these 3 things, then, they're suffering from this, but don't worry, there is something you can do to help. Okay, and you're just appealing to the emotion. So the way it introduces the product is actually very, very interesting. It starts with social proof. And usually what most people do is they introduce the product, then they talk about the social proof. They say, here's this thing, and here's all the people that love it. And that's, a completely fine way to do it. That works, right? But PetLabCo have done this a little bit different. And they said over 500,000 dog parents, just like you, have been using PetLabCo, right? And what that does is it introduces the product off the back of a lot of social proof, all right? And that's just going to immediately, it's subconscious. It happens so fast in your customer's mind. When you say the 500,000 people have tried, or the 500,000 dog parents, right, they've been specific to this. When you say that, it triggers something in the mind to say, I can trust this, right? And it's immediate. It happens so quick. So using social proof to introduce your product is something that you might want to try yourself as well. And then it goes into explaining a little bit more about the product itself, so more of the product introduction. And it also talks about the unique mechanism, okay? So I just want to go back to this part to watch it again so you can see how this is linked.
Of 500,000 dog parents just like you have turned to the new probiotic chew from PetLabCo.
Okay, quick one. You notice how it also showed multiple images or video B-roll shots of dog parents. That's also important, right? You want to, it can't obviously show 500,000, but you want to show a few because even if it's just 5, gives the customer a feeling like other people are trying this, okay? And the B-roll that you show is just as important as the script itself because it has to match. And we've spoken about this multiple times on my channel in these breakdowns, is that if the words don't match the visual, it just creates this disconnect in the customer's mind, right? Whereas if you do match them, it's just going to make your ads so much more powerful.
The chew shuttles billions of good bacteria directly into your dog's gut, helping...
Okay, shuttles billions of good bacteria into your dog's gut. This is more the unique mechanism. It's not completely unique mechanism, but I noted it down because it is a little bit, right? And I wanted to address it because it's so, so important. If a customer sees this, they're going to search on Google basically to see if there's other products like this that are cheaper, right? Or maybe even better. Because now they're aware of the problem and the solution, and that there's products out there that do this. They might say, well, what else is on the market? Now, if we were able to create a moat around our product, something that's completely different, that's hard for other companies to match, then what it does is that when customers do that research, then they're going to come back to us, right? Because we've established that unique mechanism in their mind.
To rebalance it and promote healthier skin, digestion, immune function, and more.
Okay, now we're going into more of the benefits, but what I did want to show you is that it talks about the billions of good bacteria. And if you remember earlier on in the video, when they introduced the problem, they said, now these 3 frustrating signs often signals your dog's gut is overrun with bacteria. Okay, so it kind of links to the problem a little bit. I think it could do a better job of saying maybe bad bacteria, and after it introduces the product and the unique mechanism, basically go back and saying that the good bacteria helps to overrun the bad bacteria or find the perfect balance, which leads to better gut health, all that stuff, okay? So it could do a better job at linking, but does a pretty good job nonetheless. Then we saw the benefits: healthier skin, digestion, immune function. Also, something very subtle that's happening is that it's a rule of 3. Now, the reason why the rule of 3 is so important is because humans think in threes, right? If you start to overload with 4, 5, 6 benefits, it's okay. Like, it's not going to completely destroy the ad, but more than 3, the viewer doesn't really comprehend those to be more valuable, okay? And what you're doing is you're basically taking up more space, but you're not delivering more value, right? You're not increasing the click-through rate by having 5 benefits instead of 3. Focus on the benefits that are the most important to your customer and choose 3, okay? You can also see earlier on when we spoke about the tear stains, paw licking, and scratching, it's also 3, right? It's also the rule of 3. The 3 frustrating signs. If you have seen these 3 signs, like, we're just repeating the 3, right? The rule of 3. And by the way, this is proven with psychology. Like, all these principles that I'm talking to you about are proven psychological principles that humans, the way they're hardwired, the way their brains are wired, this just is the truth. Now, after we speak about the benefits, we go into the CTA, which is a simple click learn more below. So watch this again.
Click the link below to learn more about the chew.
And that's it, okay? No hard sell, no very pushy, no limited time offer. The way that I'd make this a bit more compelling and get people to take action right now is linking it back to the problem again, right? To basically remind customers why they're at this point of the ad, right? Why did you watch to the end? Because of the problem. And I would also apply some urgency around the product itself, meaning it's selling fast and there's a lot of demand. Or you could do it around the problem and the fact that the problem needs to be addressed now, right? It can't wait. Your dog is suffering, so you need to act now, okay? This is another way you can use urgency to drive action now. Because ultimately, look, you're paying for these ads. You're paying Meta, Facebook, Instagram to serve these ads, right? You're paying per impression, and it's expensive. Now, do you really want to create a good ad and then just have a very soft CTA? No, right? But what most people do is they either don't have a CTA at all, or it's very, very weak. And you've paid for that ad, and you paid for their attention, and you've done so well to get them to the end of the ad, or even like third of the way through the ad. Get them to take action now. Like, so many people dance around this, but you need people to take action, right? And that's really what direct response is about. If you're building direct response ads, don't get me wrong, if you're building more branded style ads, then this is not really going to apply. But if you're doing direct response and you're going in on direct response, then this is a must. And this is the problem and solution framework. It's a variation of other problem and solution frameworks. And hopefully the slight differences in this, by starting with a unique form of education with these 3 different things, and then introducing the product off the back of social proof, which I love, hopefully that gives you a different perspective as to how you can build your own ads. Now you can actually take this framework and build it yourself. Hopefully this breakdown allowed it to be very clear as to what you can do. State all of these, like write all these down, and then write a script that fits, write the line for the hook, then write the line or 2 for the education, then write the line, 2, 3 lines for the problem, whatever it is. But you basically write your script in the structure of the framework. And what that means is that the ad you're going to build and the content that you're going to get, the end result, the end product is going to be based on the framework. And that is the most important thing, because when it comes to building repetitive winning ads, you need frameworks, right? You need a baseline, a foundation to build upon. You can't just mash random things together, because while some of those things could work, it's just not consistent enough. And if you are spending thousands of dollars a day, tens of thousands of dollars a day, hundreds of thousands of dollars a day, you know that the consistency of being able to produce winning ads is so important. Right, you likely have a win rate, meaning what percentage of your ads actually turn into winners, right? And you want to make sure that win rate holds when you scale, or reduces a little bit, but still is cost effective, right? So that you don't have to start producing, double the amount of ads just to get the same amount of winners than you were previously, right? You don't want to be in that situation. So if you'd rather leave this to a team of experts who do this on a daily basis and produce hundreds of these ads every single month for 7, 8, and 9-figure e-commerce brands, then this is exactly what myself and my team do. As I mentioned, if you scroll down a little bit on this video, in the video description, the first link is one to my website. Go ahead, click that link, book a call directly with me. We'll have a 20-minute chat. It's free, there's no obligation, and it's really just to find out if we can actually help you. Right? We turn away more business than not because we know what brands we work with. Our model as an agency is to work with less clients, but deliver better work, go deeper with those clients, help them scale further, produce more ads for them. And if that is something that you're aligned with and you are looking for something like this, you want to scale your business faster and hit your targets for revenue and profitability, I mean, who doesn't want to do that? Then, as I mentioned, link down below. I look forward to chatting with you soon, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks.